We're farming about 930 hectares. Half of that is probably volcanic stony rises and the rest's arable land that is mostly cropped at this stage. But as well as that, we have about 65 hectares of plains tender. We have 3 sites. One of them is a 17 hectare grassy sort of wetland, which is predominantly tussocks. There's several species of tussock, and phalaris is a big issue there, and I guess that's one thing we're concentrating on in that site. We have another 10 hectare wetland that we've blocked off, and it's been in the past a brolga nesting site, and we manage that through the plains tender. And as well as that, we have another 38 hectare wetland, which there has actually been brolgas nesting there in the past. We'd like that to happen again. You know, we gain a lot of personal satisfaction, you know, knowing that we can have an impact on the conservation of this species. And there's a lot of salt-tolerant wallaby grass on that site. It's up in the stony rises and it's fringed by some barriers, stony barriers, and we have habitat there for the endangered Corangamite water skink. Little skink, it's about that long. We've only got a few small population up in our sites. You know, they're very uncommon. Their status is endangered. So we can see the scats, you know, the little poos, if you like. We see the scats up on the rocks. But I actually saw one the other day. I was pulling out some thistles, doing some plains tender management, and I was pulling out some thistles, and I actually saw one the other day. You know, there's a lot of weed management, spot spraying, there's strategic grazing, which is really important as well too. We've actually put in a concrete structure to block up our wetland, our large wetland, and try and retain a little bit more water in that wetland as well. And we haven't completely blocked it up. We've blocked part of it up with a flow regulator, so we control the water that moves in and out. And I guess what we're trying to do there is to get that wetland back to perhaps how it was before it was drained, and perhaps how it was even, you know, ideally 300 years ago. It'd be fantastic. So that's a significant change, that we're able to keep some more water in. Certainly in the areas where we've been managing the weeds, in the stony sites, there's a greater abundance of native plants there, there's more ferns, and there's obviously less introduced plants too. We've balanced farm production with environmental outcomes. The land is not overly productive. When you've got a wetland site, it's not necessarily capable of supporting a large amount of livestock. And with the funding, that has balanced some of the income that we might normally receive from the livestock. And I guess what we've done is we've been able to learning, and of course this is ongoing, how to manage the conservation aspects of these sites and marry that up with some farm productivity by grazing the sheep too. One thing with the plains tender, it adds another aspect to your life and to perhaps the farm, if you like. It probably makes it more enjoyable to farm, I suppose, and I'm really interested in this sort of thing anyhow. So really it certainly does add to our lifestyle, I feel.